Berlin became the first German state to pass its own anti-discrimination law on Thursday, with a majority of state lawmakers approving the law. This is Gurmeet Singh, commenting from Berlin. The Black Lives Matter protests across the USA have had a global resonance. Not only have all 50 US states held rallies and protests against police brutality, similar events have taken place in Germany, the UK, Spain, New Zealand, Japan, and others. All protests have been against systemic racism in general, but specifically against what Dr. Kihana Maria Ross calls anti-blackness. That is, the violence and hatred perpetuated against black communities and individuals, as distinct from a more generalized racism, which covers a broad swathe of social prejudices and antagonisms. It is encouraging to see so many people across the world push back against systemic racism. However, global protests with specific localized origins can be problematic. There may be a tendency to transpose one-to-one the situation in America onto a different country, to claim that what is happening in America is exactly what is happening elsewhere. We've seen this before, with London's anti-austerity campaigners renaming Trafalgar Square Tahrir Square in reference to the Egyptian Spring of 2011, something clearly inappropriate. But encouragingly, the global protests have largely used this moment as an opportunity to speak about specific problems of systemic racism in specific countries. Gary Young, the journalist and academic, wrote a passionate article for the New Statesman, tying the American moment of protest to the UK's problems of systemic racism and classism, as shown up by the coronavirus death toll. He writes, "A Guardian data analysis in April revealed that a high proportion of black and minority ethnic residents were found to be the strongest predictor of a high COVID-19 death rate. For every 10% increase in ethnic minority residents, there were 2.9 more COVID-19 deaths per 100,000 people. Why should this be? At first glance, the answer appears straightforward. Put bluntly, minority communities are more likely to be poor, and poor people are, in a range of ways, more likely to be vulnerable." Young goes on to explore further problems of entrenched racist social practices such as ostracizing black and minority ethnic doctors, which prevents these doctors from speaking out. In Germany, the debate around systemic racism has even been marked by a local legal development. Deutsche Welle writes, Berlin became the first German state to pass its own anti-discrimination law on Thursday, with a majority of state lawmakers approving the law. The law explicitly bars public authorities, including police and public schools, from discriminating based on background, skin color, gender, religion, physical or mental disability, worldview, age, and sexual identity. People can also not be discriminated against based on a lack of German language skills, a chronic illness, or on their income, education, or occupation. Under the law, victims are entitled to damages and compensation. Public authorities also have the opportunity to dispute claims of discrimination. Not everyone is happy with the development, however, with a CDU politician from Baden-Württemberg, Thomas Blenker, stating, "Germany is not the USA. There is no problem with racism in the police here." Mr. Blenker has apparently not heard about racial profiling, nor with problems associated with radicalization in police and military networks across the country. However, his comments are pertinent to the discussion. Movements with global resonance can seem inherently suspicious to a nationalist mindset. More seriously, unless they have a specific aim and address the concerns peculiar to that country, then they will be ineffective. Marching in solidarity is always welcome, but concrete aims for your own country are even better.
You listen to Fair Planet, for human rights, for our planet. We are a non-profit platform for independent journalism and activism, concerned with human rights issues and the way we, as humans, are treating our planet and its inhabitants. We engage our audience to take action for positive change. Go to fairplanet.org and join us.